Welcome back. Welcome back. Yep, it's another edition of Inspirations with Carmina. And today I get to talk to the Miracle Man. I call him that because God has worked an amazing miracle in his life. I'm talking about Jojo Martin. He's got a brand new single and it's featuring Miss Kiara Sheard. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. It's Inspirations with Carmina. You are tuned in again to Inspirations with Carmina, and I am here with the one and the only Jojo Martin. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am wonderful. I am wonderful. I'm going to call you the Miracle Man. That's what I'm going to call you because God has done definitely an amazing thing in your life. Now, I have been blessed and honored to see you sing and share at so many different events. And even when there were times when I know you weren't feeling your best, but you still gave your heart, you still ministered, you still shared. Kind of talk about that. And if you want to share a little bit of your testimony, but kind of talk about that because you have been consistent in sharing and being a blessing with your musical gift.
Wow. I've just, over the years, just been honored to walk through some great doors, but also in the midst of needing a kidney transplant and being on dialysis for 5 years. It wasn't always easy, but it definitely was always worth it. And I was just so grateful to God for the opportunity to share on some of those platforms. And you were there through a lot of it. And when I was touring with James Fortune and also with Fred Hammond for a while. And so, it was just always a blessing to see you, and just always a blessing to have the strength to be able to still go along and be a part of so many great things. And God just has kept me. A lot of people, they would always say, I never knew you were sick or anything like that. And, it was just God's grace is all I could say it was, that just kept me functioning. And a lot of people were tired and different things after dialysis and all of that stuff. But I thank God that I just had so much energy and strength to continue to do what I loved and do what He needed me to do, so that the glory could be all His. And when that day finally came for Kirk Franklin in Jacksonville, it was just like, I was blown away, because while I was living in Dallas and stuff, most people didn't even know the struggle and stuff that I had then. And I didn't have a whole lot of family there. So I ended up moving back to Atlanta. And so, I was sick a lot, and I was actually in Jacksonville for a lot of it. And then I was working at HB Charles Church, Shiloh. And so I got sick again. I was like, gosh, I was trying to keep from having to move all the way back to Atlanta. I was just trying to get closer.
Yeah.
And so that happened. I ended up going on McDonald's Gospel tour, a few runs. And so after the Raleigh Durham show, me and my best friend drove to Jacksonville, because their second show of the 20 Years of One Night was it was in Atlanta, but I got so sick, so I could only see a part of it. And then I ended up being in the hospital for 3 weeks. So we had talked to Kirk and let him know that I was going to be leaving because I wasn't feeling well. They prayed with me. Then I went to the hospital. And so when I reached out to him and said I was going to come see him in Jacksonville, it was like the closest city at that time. I came, and I was just prepared to watch and enjoy, and he called me up, and the rest is just a life-changing history.
You made an amazing video that we all were just blessed and just ministered to all of us. But
Wow.
what was going through your mind? Because think about it now. We've got so many people that are dealing with this pandemic and dealing with just all kind of things that are happening right now. What was it that you held on to that kept you encouraged? I mean, for 5 years to have to deal with that, and like you said, there were times you just didn't feel good, times you couldn't be a part of the things you wanted to be a part of, but there had to be something that was in the back of your mind that just kept saying, Jojo, keep going. Jojo, keep going. Just hold on. Stay faithful. What was that? Can you share that with us?
Well, my brother had already passed away at 29. He had a wife and two sons. and one little boy on the way that he hadn't even got to meet yet. And so, I was the only person that the doctors felt could, donate a kidney, and it would possibly be that I wouldn't have the same kidney disease as him. And so, he was the oldest, I was the fifth boy. So, they felt like there was enough in between there. And so the night before I could fly back home to California, he passed away. So we never got tested to see if I had anything. And so that would have been pretty, it would have been ideal for them to find it early, years early, but that just wasn't the plan. And so, out of all of that, once we found out I had the same genetic disease, the fight was in me, because I could see the faces of my family. And even though we are a family of faith and so many pastors and singers and ministers in our family, when you hear it again, it's like, oh no, not this again. And my father was worried, and it just was so heavy on everybody. And I said, this is my moment. This is not just for me, but this is my moment, to show the world that God is still able to do things. And if I give up like everybody else did, it's a strong possibility that I could die with something that God gave me to survive with. And so I went out there and I pushed. I toured. Kiki Shear gave me my first opportunity to be on a tour. I opened up for her and Jordan Armstrong. And then later on, she added Jay Drew to the show. So I traveled the country on dialysis, doing dialysis in my hotel room, touring with her. I was still touring a little bit with PJ, and just so many different things, but I was determined. So a lot of people never knew because I just kept going. And I knew that that was important to me, for people to see that it wasn't a death sentence, that it wasn't the end of the world, and that God had something great for me to achieve, no matter what the outcome was. And that was my moment. And I was, you pray all the time, God, you can use me, you can count on me, you can depend on me. You never know how he's going to do it, And so once I got over myself and got over the fact that this wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me, I was able to go out there and make God smile. And that was in my mind the whole time. I just want to make him smile. And so that's what I did.
Wow. Now, see, we need to remember that we want to make God smile with everything that we do. I like that. I like that. Well, you continue to bless us, and God opened so many doors, and you were able to sing with, you've got a laundry list of people that you were blessed, and God opened doors with you to be able to sing with. And you just mentioned about going on tour with Kiara, and here it is, your brand new single is with
Yeah.
Kiara Sheard. And you also mentioned a certain Mr. PJ Morton, and of course, he produced this brand new single. Talk about this song. How did this song come about?
It's so crazy. This song, this whole record actually is like the soundtrack to something we never knew was going to happen.
Okay.
We knew that I had this kidney issue, but my kidneys were still functioning. I wasn't on that. They weren't even talking dialysis. They were just saying, with this disease you have, eventually you may need a kidney transplant. You may need to go on dialysis, so I flew to LA. I was in LA for a month staying with PJ. We just worked every single day. When he wasn't out with Maroon, he would come back. We'd be working. And, it was just, the plan was to just get ahead of everything. And we wrote these songs together, and just never knew that what we were writing about would be like the soundtrack to not even the ending of a great story, but the soundtrack to just the testimony of the lives of so many people, and something that I would have to go through to really understand it, to understand the songs that God gave us to write. And so, even if it takes forever, was written before all of these songs were written before anything ever happened. And so that slowed down the progress. We didn't get to release because I couldn't do as much as I needed to do. And it would have been a headache on the system to try to schedule me dialysis that much out of town.
Yeah.
So, we held on to it. Kiki wasn't even on it. And then once I got a kidney transplant, my friend Brittany Ruff, go Brittany, gave me her kidney. And then, so it's been a little bit over a year now. And PJ was like, I got this idea and I want you to hear it and just tell me if you like it. And when he sent it to me and played it back, Kiera was on there. I was like, this is mind blowing, mind blowing. But the song, it just, PJ just came up with this hook and this melody, and I was just like, it's a song I grew up singing as a little boy. I
Mhm.
don't know why Jesus loves me, and so to have a portion of all of that a part of this story, the song is just like a story, but even if it takes forever, no matter what I'm dealing with, no matter where I am in life, I'm willing to do whatever it takes because I owe a huge debt, and I could never repay it. But even if it takes forever, I'll do whatever it takes to show you how grateful I am, how much I love you, how much I adore you. And that's what this song is for me.
I love it. I love it. You just lit all up talking about it. I mean, just that is beautiful. And you know what? It's just such the perfect song. And like you said, you wrote it back. You and PJ worked on this back, whenever, and it had to be delayed. But God knew we needed this song now with all that's going on. So that's just how amazing He is. He knew what timing was best. We don't ever know.
That's
But
right.
it's just a beautiful song, and I was so excited when I heard it, and then to, of course, just see you, and you're just looking amazing, and again, just smiling. Look at this smile on his face. I love it. I love it. But I appreciate you for being a testament. I know here in the Metroplex, there are so many young people that admire you. Whenever you come to town, they're gonna flock to the venue because they admire you. And so to see you living this testimony where no matter what, you still kept going. And like you said, even when it didn't feel good, you kept going. And we have those that have given up for less. So I'm glad that you're willing to stand forward and let people know that message that we just got to keep pressing. We got to make God smile at the end of the day. I love
Yeah.
that. I love you
Yeah.
know bless me today. I need to send an offer. What's your cash app?
God is good to us, isn't it?
Indeed, indeed. But people can support this new single. So tell
Sure.
them how they can do that, how they can connect with you, and also whenever we can move around again, I know they can invite you out. So let's share all that information.
Sure. Everything for me, let's start with the website. It'll be jojomartinmusic.com, and that's Jojo martinmusic.com. All of my social media is JoJo's Voice. That's JoJosVoice. And I would love to connect with everyone. It's definitely an honor to be able to speak to so many people that are starting dialysis or have been on, and it's happening every day. I just got messages the other day all the way from Africa. A guy would like me to speak to his youth group and just encourage them to keep pushing. So I'm always answering everything. All the email addresses that are there, they belong to me. And so I really want to be able to reach out and to be a part of everything that's going on. So please reach out. The song Jojo Martin featuring Kiera Sheard, Even If It Takes Forever, on Morton and Ty Scott Records, is available everywhere you can buy music. And so please support and please share it with your family and friends. It would be a blessing.
Absolutely. Well, we are honored to support you here on our platform. And again, I'm just so proud of you, man. Love you, appreciate God for you. And I know more and more is to come.
Thank
Indeed.
you.
Indeed.
I
Y'all,
love
let's get
you.
into it. It's brand new music. It's Jojo Martin, y'all. It's Inspirations with Carmina.